another crazy update, you guys. Version 17.50 just came out today, and we got some new devices, some new prefabs and galleries, some really insane and cool updates to some old devices, and we got some insane leaks again. I'll show you guys everything you need to know about this update. Hey, real quick, you guys, just hit that like button. It helps me out a lot. And as always, you guys can check the progress bar. I add chapters to each part so you guys can skip around. All right, let's get started. Pardon me, I'm a little sick, but I'm gonna get through it. Welcome to my update island. Don't look at the devices down there. We're gonna get to those in a second. Don't peek. First, I gotta show you guys the new prefabs and galleries. The first prefab we got is the Spooky Mansion. This thing is really cool. Lots of really cool new props. Oh, very cool. You guys, I'm not going to show you every room in here. You guys can look at it yourself, but there's definitely a lot of cool things in here. A lot of cool new props you see here. We'll get into those in a second, but definitely a really cool prefab, and I can see a lot of these pieces being used. All right, let's check out the new galleries they added. We actually got some really insane galleries. Most of them are Halloween themed, but we actually got one that isn't and will be used a lot, and I'll show you that in a second. First up are the Spooky Mansion galleries. Here are the floors, kind of, you know, generic, a lot of the same floors we've had previously. Here are the walls. Standard, really, but what's most exciting is these new props we got. So this is the Spooky Prop Gallery B, and there are a lot of cool items in here, including these plush toys. There's cute ones and then there's evil ones. I really hope they add more Fortnite plush skins to these. They're really cool. And look, you can make them really big as well. It's just really cool ad. I don't know why I'm so excited over these, but I think they're neat. We also got some really cool fireplace props, and I love these lights back here. It's like Dumb Blonde made this gallery.
Oh yeah, I like it. I like it.
The next gallery they added is actually really cool and something we actually haven't seen in creative just yet, and that's the Spooky Alphanumeric Gallery. Look at this thing. It's like a marquee basically, and all the letters and numbers that you can spell whatever you want. Skittles who? but seriously, what's really new about this is we actually have never had letters where we could actually spell things before. We've only had numbers. Like I think the military gallery and one of the obstacle galleries you could get numbers, but now we actually have letters to spell things. I hope they keep giving us different styles of letters. That would be really cool. All in all, this is a really great ad. Oh. I mean, I didn't do that. This is a really cool prop they added. You guys should probably do that. So stupid. Okay. I'm sick. All right, now the last prop gallery they added was the background city, and this is very cool. I think a huge problem we have is wasting a lot of memory on terrain and trying to make structures in the background of our maps, and this is gonna lighten the load tremendously. Not only that, you can resize these. They get really big. If you guys actually grab these pieces and resize them and make them as big as possible, they're actually 32 by 32. I mean, look how big this gets. It's massive. Very cool. Thanks for helping out with the memory. Give us that terrain editor, please. All right, let's check out the new devices. All right, so the first new device they added is the real-time clock. This is actually so cool. This device is awesome, and it's really made for making live events in your map. There are some limitations though. Let's check out the device. So when you first interact with it, these are all your settings, just typical enable, disable. You can make the clock face, it's kind of 3D, but you can also make it flat. You can have it count down or actually just show the date. So the date range on this thing is massive. I mean, you can go all the way to 2030. You can have an event in like 9 years. What? But basically, you just set up your minutes and your hours. It's military time, and you pick what month and day. Something I really want to note though, some people are going to struggle with this, making this device work. Right now, it only follows one time zone, and that's GMT. 1:10. Okay, good to know. So basically, now that we know what GMT time is, it's hour 13. Let's set it for like a minute ahead, so 12 minutes. And today is the 31st of August. When the timer's reached, let's have it signal on channel 1. And see now, you can kind of see now it's all set up and it tells us we have about 13 seconds left, right? So let's actually increase this by 1 minute. All right, perfect. Now it's showing properly, you guys. So make sure you are at GMT time for now. They will be adding more time soon. The countdown is counting down. This device is really cool. I love how it shows you the date and the time, and it shows it counting down. This can create a lot of cool things in your map. Boom, all right, and it's signaled, right? That's a signal. All in all, this is a very, very cool device. There is one issue though with this device is that once you set a date and time, you can't like reset it without manually going in and changing the settings in the device and then publishing again, right? I wish we could add like a 24-hour reset so the next day at that same time you can signal again, which would allow us to do like daily giveaways in your map or something, right? But all in all, I love new devices. Very, very cool. Next up is another new device we got, and that is the brand new timer device. And I know you want to say, well, it's not brand new. And it actually is brand new, I think. This timer device is a lot different than this timer device, which we've had since the dawn of time. And I'll explain the differences. Not only is it off grid, as we're seeing the trend, right? All old plate devices are going to come off grid. It has a lot more options and even will carry individual player references. All right, let's interact with the device. A lot of standard durations. They actually give us a lot of options in seconds, which I do like, but it jumps from 10 to 60 minutes and we need more increments in there. You can name your timer. You can set up the direction. You can decide if you want it to automatically start on game, who this timer will affect or what class. You can apply it to everyone or just one person. This is what I'm talking about. It can carry a player signature, so that is really nice. You can also set this device up for like time trials. If they don't complete it in this time, they'll fail, or you can set it up. You have a certain amount of time to survive. That is something we haven't seen on any device before, so this is really cool. Completion behavior, that's very standard. I love you can also change the color, because what's really cool about this device is you can use it as like a heads-up display. You can put it in your map somewhere and you can see the time as it's counting. And if you have it set to just apply to player, it will only show the time to that player. It won't show it to any of the other players unless they've instigated it. I love also you can choose what to display. You can just show seconds or minutes and seconds. A lot of text options. You can even set up score or even remove score if they don't do it in time. You can choose to have it on your HUD at all times or not. And now this is really, really cool. You can actually save this timer. So say you have a death run, right? You want to record their time. So when they're in the middle of that death run and they leave, it'll save their time progress. And when they come back, if you have it set up properly, it'll start the time again. We have different options, right, for this save timer. So if you have this set to save and pause, the current time will be recorded and the timer will be paused when you enter the map again. And if you have it set to save and continue, the current time will be recorded, but the timer will continue running. Again, here's a setting. You can actually have it auto save if you want, but if not, there's actually a triggerable channel where you can save manually. All the standard start and complete channels, I'll show you that in a second, and then you can signal when it's complete. But on success and on failure, these all depend on your settings you've chosen up here with the result on the timer end. So keep that in mind. All in all, this device is a really, really cool ad. Let me show you what it looks like in game. So it just tells you the timer name we set up. We'll start it here. Hi, I'm time. While it's running, you have a message. It'll show you your time and it'll show you on your HUD, right? You see I have a little HUD here in the top middle of my screen. Again, you can remove that, but that's very cool. And if you only have this set up for a single player, not all players, it will only show this to the instigating player. I love that. I do have some bad news about this device. It actually doesn't replace the old timer, unfortunately, at least yet. I hope they'll add more settings. But for instance, if we look at the old timer, this device actually links up with your user interface. And if you set it to lap time, it'll actually show in your menu. Let me just show you real quick. So right now we don't have any time. Let's press this. 1, 2, 3, boom. See, so right now I have this timer set for 2 minutes. So basically the timer was just running for 3 seconds, almost 4 seconds, and it recorded my lap time, which we can use for a win condition, right? Unfortunately, this device doesn't offer that. So I really hope they add that soon so we can actually use this as a win condition in conjoined with showing a user interface on the menu. Anyhow, this is an awesome device. I know I'll be using this a lot. RIP time objective device. I'm sorry. You were so good to me. All right, let's move on to the new settings on some of the old devices. We got some really good ones. All right, so they added some new settings to the Ambient gallery and the Military Light gallery. I just grabbed a few of the lights just to show you guys, but basically all the settings are kind of the same, but they have the new user interface for colors. I love this little menu drop down thing. It's awesome. You also can change the light size, the intensity, and you can choose if you want to cast shadows, stuff like that. A really nice add to an already cool device, right? So on the score manager, they finally gave us this setting, and now you can actually decide the visibility. Before, you could say yes or no, and if you said yes, it always showed this base, right? So we always had to hide it, the base, into something if you didn't want to see it. But now there's a setting to just show the numbers. That's so nice. On the trigger device, they actually gave us an option to either trigger or not trigger from creature or wildlife. I know that's a nice add for a lot of people, so the more you know. All right, so they added some brand new settings on the item granter as well. Let me show you these. You can now grant on timer, which is very interesting. You can grant in increments of 1, 2, 3, and 4 seconds. They've also added grant while offline. You can click yes or no. What I think these were added for was actually more of like a player tracker, kind of keep track of a player or signal to all players, giving maybe like a top 5, top 3 score type deal. Let me just show you how it works. So this is the settings I currently have it set to. All right, so when I press it, I'm gonna get one because I instigated on it. It's on triggering player, and then every 3 seconds, you'll see that I'm getting a flashlight equipped. I do want to let you guys know that it won't automatically on game start just give you those 3 seconds. It's actually going to take an instigation from a player if it's set to triggering player, or if you set it to all players, then you can signal it however you want. All right, so we have it set to triggering player. Now watch when a second player triggers it. So now the second player actually took over the instigation. We are no longer the instigator on that item granter, and now the second player who instigated it is getting those items every 3 seconds. Hopefully I'm making sense. The other setting they added was grant while offline. Now, if you didn't know, the item granter, even though a player is eliminated and maybe spectating, it actually is signaling to those eliminating players as well. We can now turn that off. However, in my testing, it doesn't seem to be working. I checked all my settings. Maybe I'm missing something. I don't think so though, but let me just show you what I mean. All right, so basically these are my settings on the item granter. I'm granting all items. The only item I have in this item granter is 1 gold coin. I have it set up to grant on channel 1, which is set up to the button, and after it grants, it's going to actually send to all the players that collected that coin. It's going to send a player signature on channel 2. I also have it set up to grant on the timer, the new setting, every 3 seconds, and also grant while offline, the new setting, where basically it should not allow a player to get anything if they're eliminated. All right, let me show you. We're going to start it. So you see I'm team 2, Anonymous is team 1. It's working as designed currently. Every 3 seconds, it's giving us a gold coin. It's also giving us score. I set it up that way just so for another visual reference. All right, now when I eliminate the player, you'll see in the bottom left screen, he's spectating me, he's eliminated, yet the eliminated person is still getting score, is still receiving a signal, right? So even though I have this setting set to grant while offline to no, it's still granting while offline. I hope they fix that because this would really help out with placement point mechanics and some other mechanics we also use with this item granter method. So hopefully that gets fixed soon, and all in all, a really cool add to one of my favorite devices. All right, so the next new setting on actually a new device is the VFX Spawner, and they've added area of fog. Check this thing out. It's a huge area of fog. It's really Really cool, actually. And it definitely goes with, you know, the Halloween themed items we've been getting the past few updates, right? All right, now this is probably one of the best and biggest changes to a device we've recently got, and it's actually still a new device, right? The Skydome, we recently just got that, and look what they added. It's pretty much everyone's like #1 ask with this device, and they've added it. It's so cool. You can now make the Skydome device a volume device, which means basically if a player is in that area that you set, that volume, it'll change the colors or whatever settings you set to that Skydome device. So if you look over here, I have this set up to all red just to kind of show you guys, and I have the volume set to yes. There's my volume size. It's basically this white box. This one is set to blue. I also have another Skydome set up just for this normal aesthetic. All right, watch what happens when I go inside this. Boom. It's red. And then when you walk out, it's back to normal. All right, check this out. It's blue. How cool is this? How cool is this, you guys? This is probably my favorite ad on this update. It's really, really neat. So many cool implications can be used with this, and I can't wait to see what everyone does with this new setting. That's it for the new settings, you guys. Let's check out the leaks. All right, as always, I get my leaks from Fortnite Creative News and Leaks. It's run by our very own Echo Builds. I'll leave a link to this Twitter in the description. Our first device leak is the new Switch device, and the description is a configurable 2-state switch that can trigger other devices depending on the state or change on it. This device is very interesting to me. It looks like it's going to have a huge implication creative. I'm really excited for this device to release. Let's hope they do release it to public. Crazy, crazy news. The next device that got leaked is the item remover, and it basically will delete or drop weapons, items, resources from your inventory, which this is really, really cool. Currently, we have to use a conditional button and put the item in there, and it's a long process. It takes a lot of device memory. This device, you'll be able to do all that and more. So I need this device. Give me it now. Can't wait to see it in creative. And the last device that was leaked is the prop shoes. I'm really not sure what this is about. I know way back in the day, like one of the first LTMs was the Jordan LTM, and they had those Jordan shoe collectible looking thing. I'm wondering what's different than that device. So again, just want to give you guys the news as I find out as well, and I love new stuff. All right, that's gonna do it for today's update. It was a huge, crazy update. If you guys would hit that like button, if you guys learned something, it helps me out a lot. Subscribe to stay up to date on all the new Fortnite creative news. I'm Immature Gamer. I'm out.